Hey guys, Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum. FredMcCoy.com. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening.
I'm always taking my hat off and showing people my bald head and saying, if you believe that, I've got a whole head full of hair. And one of our viewers sent us a little gift, so I had to wear it, but that's enough of that. Guys, it's going to be hopefully a short video. Sheila and I is going to talk about a couple of things. Basically, this video is going to be on Cotton Top, Hatfield.
Okay.
Ellison, Cotton Top, Hatfield. We saw a article over the last couple of days that somebody sent us, and this person was talking about Cotton Top's mother was not related to Ellison Hatfield, and she was a new, and she was a Mounts, and so forth like this. Act like she was a new before she was ever married to Mounts. So real few people, real Hatfield McCoy historians or researchers or history buffs know the story. We probably don't have to go over it for a lot of people, but for the ones that don't know, let's just set you straight. Ellison, Cotton Top Hatfield was the son of Ellison Hatfield. Mm-hmm. Ellison's over there on that middle picture, Sheila. You can show him up there. We hadn't planned on doing this. Right here he is.
Oh, okay, better one.
He was actually 5'10". I think the paper's got 5'11", but on his Civil War records, he was 5'10".
Okay.
So Cotton Top was the product of Ellison Hatfield and Harriet Hatfield. Not Harriet New, not Harriet Mounts. Cotton Top was the son of Ellison and Harriet. Ellison's first cousin. Harriet was the sister to to Floyd Hatfield. Hogg, Still, and Floyd. Hogg, Still, and Floyd and Harriet were brothers and sisters. Now, we done a story on this way back, so if you've done seen it,
exactly. Her picture's over there.
Huh?
Her picture's over there.
And so Harriet and Hogg, Still, and Floyd were brothers and sisters. They were the children of John Hatfield. John Hatfield. Over the years, and I won't drift here, but over the years, a lot of people tried to say that they've shown Constable Floyd Hatfield, who was the son of George Hatfield, as to Hogg, Still, and Floyd. And that's the wrong picture. When you see that guy standing there, that's simply the wrong picture. Harriet and her first cousin, Ellison Hatfield, had Cotton Top. There's rumors or speculation and all kinds of things as to other children. We won't get into that.
Right.
And I'll go back and say this one thing, that's why we always ask for DNA. But let's talk about this. The title of this, the thumbnail, is going to be something like retarded or autistic or a genius. Okay,
Simple.
She probably ain't going to say.
They most call him Simple.
Okay, she don't like that word.
Yeah.
Sheila's politically correct, and she loves people and children. So, okay, let's call it simple, simple-minded, or a genius. Because this person, who wrote this article, says that Cotton Top was a genius.
He was autistic, yeah.
That he was autistic before anybody knew what autistic was. Said that he could just riddle off numbers. He knew how to play the piano. He could do anything. He was just autistic. Guys, this is 2024. And these things that you read nowadays on the internet or you see or on Facebook pages, just because they're on there don't make them true. Cotton Top was simple-minded. Let's call it like we see it. And we'll show you a board over here in a minute. We also done a story on that a long time ago on cousins. Why is it illegal for cousins to get married? That's why. Sometimes it don't work out. Sometimes you come up with a defect. And Cotton Top was a defect been the product of two first cousins, Ellison Hatfield, Harriet Hatfield. You know, even after Harriet and Ellison, Harriet went on to marry, I think Cotton Top was
3 years old.
3 years old when Harriet finally married
Mounts.
She married Mounts. And she gave Cotton Top the Mounts name. Now, he'll always be Hatfield to us. Let's don't change history. He's a Hatfield. He's Ellison Hatfield's son. Now, for years and years and years, the West Virginia Hatfields and the private deserter Devil Anse Hatfield fans, they didn't want to admit that. They wanted to keep that a secret. Now, they always talked about other first cousins, other people getting married. Well, two other people that got married that was first cousins was Cap Hatfield and Nancy. Nancy was the daughter of Devil Anse's sister. And they got married. What else did you have, Sheila?
I've got down here that we did some research here, and Cap was born in 1861, and he married Rebecca Justice. She was born in 1843, guys. She was 18 years older than him. She was 39 when they got married, and he was 21. And Cotton Top was hung on February of 1890, and he was 29 years old. So they got married. Him and Rebecca got married. If I didn't tell you, was married on December the 25th of 1882.
You know, 1882. You got to remember that in August of 1882 is when they killed the three McCoy boys. When they tied them to the bushes and killed them. So August, September, October, November, 3 months later, Cotton Top gets married to Rebecca, which was much older than him?
She was 18 years older than him. She was 39 when she married Cotton Top, who was 21.
Wow. You know, guys, there's a couple of myths, and Sheila and I, we just skimmed through our big book upstairs and just wrote down a couple of notes. But there was always a rumor that when Cotton Top was being hung, that his mother died of a heart attack on her way to the hanging. And that's not true. She didn't die till years later. There's all kinds of myths when it comes to Cotton Top. There's again, this person here that wrote this the last few days and says that he was autistic, that he was a genius, that he was, and that's simply not true. He was simply the product of his two first cousins, and that's what I want to emphasize. You know, the people out here that tries to change history on people or these new generations that come up, and that's why we had the History Channel. That's why we had that movie that was so distorted, so untrue. And maybe they done it for entertainment. I don't think so. I think they've done it a little for history and a whole lot for entertainment. But some people watches that movie and they think, oh, this is a truth, this is fact, this is what happened. And it's not. And they portrayed Perry Cline as a bad guy. They portrayed Frank Phillips as a bad guy. Portrayed Devil Anse as a man just wanting revenge for his brother. But yet he didn't care enough about his brothers to go pick one up from prison or his nephew to rescue him from hanging. We won't go into that. I see her already shaking her head at me when I start drifting. Down here in this box we've got, that is one of the first papers that was written, and that is where Judge John M. Rice, the judge, had ordered Cotton Top to be hung on the 3rd day of December, 1889. That's the old written out court document. Now, if you remember, for you historians, Cotton Top was hung on February the 18th, 1890.
Yeah.
But yet the judge's order was for December the 3rd, 1889. Why wasn't he hung then? Well, Kentucky law had a stipulation that if anybody was sentenced to death, they had to have an automatic appeal. And they had already sentenced him to be hung December the 3rd, and he hadn't had an appeal. Now, they gave him his appeal, and his appeal was nothing more than sending it before another judge and saying, hey, we condone this, we approve this, we concede to the findings of the prior court. There was no hearing, there was no lawyer, there was nothing else went on. They just simply said, okay, now he's had his appeal, hang him. And so instead of December the 3rd of 89, he was hung February. It took him a couple of months to do that. He was hung February the 18th of 1890.
Yeah.
And you know, Cotton Top, everybody knows Cotton Top was a scapegoat for private deserter Devil Anse Hatfield. He was the scapegoat. He wanted to give somebody up. Now, they'd already put the other 8 in prison for life. Wall Hatfield died. Now, guys, let me explain something to you. That's good. I'm glad this come up. Because, and Sheila will tell you the same thing. Sheila and I don't profess to be experts.
Lord, no.
On anything.
That's right.
We're not. We do enjoy doing research on the Hatfields and McCoys. We do enjoy documentation that where we can prove things. It's like an accomplishment. That's our hobby. And it's probably kept us married for 40 years because we get so involved and so we don't have time to argue or bicker or fight and fuss because we're so busy researching and when we find something, it's high five and it's like going up these graveyards. I kill myself and then I suffer for the next 2 weeks, but it's the adrenaline and you just enjoy doing it. But going back to this, let me explain something. Sheila and I make mistakes. If you ever see anything that we say that is wrong and you have documentation, now we still get emails and texts where people says, I read in Otis Rice's book or I read in Tina Waller's book. Well, you're reading wrong books, first of all. Those people were selling books, but let's don't go there. But if you can ever prove us wrong on anything that we've said, please do. We welcome you. We couldn't be more serious.
Right.
We couldn't be more serious. We welcome it. We want the truth. We want history corrected and with documents and proof that rather than somebody just writing like this person here that wrote and said Cotton Top could do numbers off the top of his head. Cotton Top could play the piano. Cotton Top could... No, guys, we've never seen that. It's 2024. Sheila and I have been researching the feud since I was in the 5th grade. Sheila's for the last 40 years. We've never seen that until we read that a couple of days ago.
All right.
And that's wrote in the history, and it's probably there forevermore because once it's put on these Facebook pages, and I don't know why people, they're certainly not historians, let's put it like that. So, Devil Anse did not go rescue Cotton Top. Cotton Top hung. The other 8 went to prison. 7 of them at that time, and then later on Johnsey they got 10 years later. But justice was served as best as it could on these guys.
At that time, yeah.
You got to remember Elliot Hatfield, Robert E. Lee Hatfield. That's 2 of Devil Anse's sons. Cap Hatfield, 3 of private Devil Anse's sons. And private Devil Anse deserter himself, never was held accountable. This man hung. Wall, that's what I was going to say when I done my correction. I could be wrong here. Please research it. I think it's in our big book. But Wall Hatfield died, I believe it was a week before this man was hung. He died in prison. So he was only in prison 2 months before he died.
Wow.
And he died a week before Cotton Top was hung, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken. Maybe it's 2 weeks. Maybe it's a week after. But somewhere in that area. I'm not going to go over and look at that.
Okay.
I do want to go show the thing on the wall.
Okay.
I don't walk that good. We went up on that graveyard the other day, and my leg,
Yeah.
my back and leg messed up. I pulled a tendon or something.
Yeah.
And I had the awfulest time ever was. I thought I got snake bit
Shoo, you scared me to death.
when it first hit. I thought I got snake bit because it just popped. And it wasn't a snake. It was just, it was
Well,
tied
thank the Lord.
to my back and to my leg. And that's been like that. We're going to stop it here, and we're going to tune back in over there. I want to
Yeah.
show one last thing, and then we'll call this a video.
Catch you in a few.
We're going to finish this video up right here.
Okay.
This is the door that goes into the Hubert Bay McCoy side. And we took this off once before. Now guys, this is maybe even outdated. There may be some more states that outlawed it since then. But you can go on the internet and just Google what states allow first cousins to get married.
Okay.
Or what states is it illegal to marry your first cousin in. And it will list them. Here's something we used to have at Renfro Valley when we had the museum over there. And people would come in, they would laugh about people marrying their first cousins, especially from Texas or California. We were right there on I-75, so we got a lot of people, good location. And but people would laugh about Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, all these southern states, Alabama, marrying their cousins. And we would ask them, what state are you from? And they would tell us. And of course, if they said they were from Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, places like that, we'd say, wow, it's illegal nowadays to marry your first cousin in Kentucky or West Virginia, but Florida, you can marry your first cousin in Florida today. California, and here's the sheet, and again, you can, it's old and it may be wrinkled and maybe.
There you go. I was trying to get the light out of it. There you go. Good deal.
And that's the states that allow and don't allow people to marry their first cousin. So, and that's why, because of the deficiencies in the chromosomes or whatever. I just seen this when we come over here, Sheila. Here's that is a picture of me when I was 16 years old, right before going into the Marine Corps. I'm not really worried about me as much, getting me, as I am this window right here. This window right here used to be, this is that window right there. And if you'll see this sign right here,
Yeah.
that sign right there said Ella and Cora's Hatfield and McCoy collection inside. And that's me filling up a pop machine.
Aw. How old were you there?
I was right, that's about a week or
16?
two. No, I was about
17?
17 there. I was getting ready to go in the Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
And there's my father on the porch. Of course, they own Blackberry Supermarket. But what I was wanting to show is that white piece of paper right there where that arrow, I drew a red arrow up there on it. This window, that window, and these two windows here were where Mom and Grandma had their Hatfield McCoy collection. And that's how many years ago. That right there is 1970. That's about 1972, 1970, 72, somewhere in that area. Guys, that's going to conclude this video. Once again, for the last thing that we do, I just want to make sure everybody understands. Sheila and I do. You know, we get comments, or we get phone calls, or we get, and some of them's not that bad. Some of them just ask questions.
Questions, right.
Some people ask us questions that we don't know the answer to, and we just simply tell them we don't know where that's at. We don't know where that happened at. Where did this take place? Can you do a video on? We can't. We don't know.
Right.
We could go out and do a video and just make it up as we go, but that's not Sheila and I.
No.
See, so we know that we could do that, but we don't want to do it like that. That's not what we want. And that's why we're so serious about you all correcting us. If we say anything wrong, or we present something that's not correct us. We want to know.
Well, sure.
And we can't be more
Upfront about it, or
Upfront
more
about it.
diligent about saying that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Sheila knows that. Sheila, you guys know Sheila good enough to know that. And I'm the same way. All right, fellas, that's going to conclude this video, except Sheila will probably put some stuff at the end, like she always does. Mm-hmm. And
see you then. Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.